Meghan McCain is back on The View. She had taken leave to have her child give birth and of course recover from giving birth, which most women, all women need to be able to do without threatening their livelihood. And what's interesting is that now Meghan McCain, someone who hasn't really been a fighter for progressive values or policies that actually help people, wants mandatory maternity leave? What? Let's hear why.
I gave birth, I actually had postnatal preeclampsia, and I was in the hospital for a week after on a magnesium drip, and it really, really kicked my butt. And I was planning on coming back to the show for the election in 6 weeks after I gave birth, and I was physically unable to. I was physically unable to come. I was having, as any woman who has experienced anything like that, I had to have my husband and my mother-in-law help me do everything from shower to eat. It was deeply humbling, and to help me take care of Liberty. And the whole time I was thinking, what a privilege it is to have this kind of maternity leave. And then as I thought about it, the more angry I got that there weren't women in the rest of America that had the same kind of luxury that I had working here at The View. And then I started getting more and more angry that conservatives in particular, given that we are the the party of family values, and that everything about our ideology sort of stems from the nucleus of the family, that we are leaving women in this country without the capacity and ability, unless you have an employer that allows you to take care of your child, to heal physically, which is something that needs to happen.
So Aida, she did acknowledge the fact that, maybe she needed to experience this in order to come to this conclusion. I wish people were able to have empathy for others, even if they're not going to experience the same hardships. But that didn't happen in this case. Still, with all the issues I have with Meghan McCain right now and have had with her in the past, she's right on this issue. There should absolutely be paid family leave, not just maternity leave, because if you have a C-section, if you went through an incredibly difficult pregnancy, even if you didn't, raising an infant, those first 3 months are so incredibly difficult and you need help. So having your partner by your side is incredibly important as well. So I agree with her 100%. And I know she's gonna get a lot of backlash because she hasn't been on the right side of this in the past. But I think we should be warm and welcoming to people who agree with us on these types of policies. We need as much support as we can get.
First of all, big ups to cute Meghan. She looked pretty in her little houndstooth dress. And I was like, she looked lighter. Having that baby probably gave her some perspective on life but one of the things that I did want to point out is she's absolutely right in terms of the party who calls themselves the party of family values and the people who are pro-life. When it comes to issues that affect people who are less fortunate and are not as privileged, those values don't seem to come across when you talk about abortion, when you talk about women's rights. So I think that sometimes motherhood can open your eyes to perspective when you see something greater than yourself that you want to see a better life for, and then the experiences that connect you to other women that you might not have necessarily felt before, and having a child would do that. I mean, I had a child and I was I had a catheter for 2 weeks after I had my daughter. I had a very traumatic childbirth, and fortunately for me, I was in a position where my life was okay, but I still, I never forget where I come from. And I think that there are a lot of working women out there who absolutely want to spend time with their children and absolutely need that time to bond and don't have it. So I'm always going to give props to somebody when they grow. And I think that regardless of what the impetus is for that to happen, I think it's important that she uses that platform to speak on behalf of people who don't have a voice. So I just want to give her a shout out. I think cute Meghan is saying some nice stuff.
Yeah, and positive reinforcement. Maybe positive reinforcement will push her in the right direction on other issues as well. But remember, I mean, Meghan McCain is incredibly privileged, has all the resources at her fingertips. And so she didn't even most conservative women who have that kind of privilege wouldn't even come to the conclusion that she did. And I want to give her credit for that as well, because she didn't have to experience firsthand what it's like to be a working woman whose paycheck is vital, critical for the livelihood of herself, of course, and the rest of her family. Most women don't get to make a decision. They do have to get back to work right away. They fear losing their job as a result of giving birth and being away for too long. And of course, as we know, since we don't have mandatory paid family leave, most people don't even have the ability to take that time off and still earn an income as a result. So I like that she came to this conclusion. I think it's important, and hopefully she continues down this path. Having kids does change you, so maybe this is changing her for the better.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.